Okay, so on the first night, the image that we ended up with was this one here. This is just a preliminary image that I'm using with some basic processing done on it. You can see M106 there, and this galaxy up here. Now, I know what this is. It's NGC 4217, and I really wanted to include this image. Let me show you why. So here's what I was aiming at. This is NGC 4217 just here, and here's M106. So obviously I've got to slightly rearrange the alignment of the telescope to get these two galaxies in our final image. This is solved through astronomy.net. Here's M106 just here, and you can see up the top here NGC 4217. So obviously I've got to retake the image and probably align so the center of the image is around about here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use APT to plate solve to M106, and then we'll use the Go to ++ feature to choose a different area of the sky to off-center M106 so we can get the NGC galaxy in view. So first of all, we are going to slow over to Arcturus. Now I've already done this because I have to do the initial plate solve to find out exactly where we're pointing. So that's been done, and this is the image that's produced. This is just a 5-second image, ISO 100, and I'll go to the point craft button there, and I'll just do a blind solve on that image and wait a few seconds. So that's solved the image. You can see here success. So what we'll do is we'll click on the show button and the sync button just there, and then we'll flick over to Cart to Seal and see where exactly we are, and actually the telescope is actually pointing just there, so it's a little bit off Arcturus. So let's try and zoom in on that. So now I'll click on Arcturus and click the slew button here, and that will take our telescope to Arcturus. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to focus the setup, because this is one of the steps I have to perform every night. Even though I'm on a permanent setup, I still have to focus the camera because I take the camera off when I finish imaging. So we'll go over to APT and we'll take a photograph. And there's Arcturus in the frame. Now I'm going to show you how I actually focus the camera. I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to go and put on my bhatinov mask, and then we'll come back. So the first thing I do here is I shoot an image. And you can see, well, let me just magnify that up a little bit. So there's the image magnified. You can see I'm a little bit out. So now what I do is I put on the bhatinov aid, just there. Move that over the image. Hit the recalc button. You can see we need to move this red circle over this blue circle using the focusing tool. So I'm just going to do focus in just to see which direction we need to go in. I've clicked the focus in button there, and I'll shoot another image. You can see there we went a little bit too far, so back to the focusing tool, just touch the focus out and do another image. Nope, that was the wrong way obviously. So we'll just try this again with the focusing tool. It's going the wrong way. Interesting. So let's focus out a couple of long presses. And a little bit too far again. Let's focus in. And we're getting there. Focus in just a touch. And we're getting there. We're pretty much on the ball there. Let's just try one more. We need to go in the opposite direction. I don't think we're going to get it much closer than that. We might do on this one.
Exposure finished.
There we go. We're spot on our focusing now. So we now can shut down the bhatinov aid. It's It's going to tell me to go and take off the bhatinov mask, and we'll come out of that magnified view just like that, and I go and take the bhatinov mask off, and then we'll continue with our plate solving. So we're going for M106, but I'm going to use the go-to ++ functions of APT to off-center the image, remember, so we get the extra galaxy in. So we click on the gear tab here, click on objects, find M106 in the list here, double click it, click go to, just wait while that slews over to the target. Let's have a look at Carte de Seal, see what's going on there. You can see it's disappeared off Arcturus, and there's the telescope there moving around. Coming over to M106 now. Which is just here. Right, so that's now moved to M106. So the next job we do is to shoot an image. And then we'll go to Point Craft and get it to do a blind solve on this image here. So the image is solved, success, look, status success. So as I've shown on previous videos, you now click on objects, find M106 in the list here again, double click that and click go to ++. What this will do is it will put M106 pretty much close to the center of our image, which of course we don't want it to be, because if you remember, the NGC galaxy was up here.
Exposure finished.
So let's see what happens. Okay, so we've got that within 19 pixels, which is pretty close. So what we'll do now is we're going to use our aim function. Now, from what we previously saw, if you remember, the galaxy we were trying to get hold of was just up here. So I'm going to click the aim button. I'm going to click just there. What that will do is it will use the go to ++ function to center the image just here. So we'll center the image there, and then we'll take a longer exposure picture to see where we are. So we hit the go to ++ button again. Just going to get no on that. What's going to happen now is the telescope's going to slew to where it thinks it's just there. And
exposure started.
Start doing images again.
Exposure finished.
And we're solving again since that move. So here's the result of that second plate solve. You can see M106 has moved down and NGC 4217 is coming into frame. So we're going to do another one, and I'm going to move the center point to about here on the screen. So I've used the aim tool and I've re-aimed to about there, and we re-click the go to ++ button. So here's the result of the last movement that we made. M106 is now here, NGC 4217 is here. That should get both of those galaxies nicely within the image. Once you've found this custom location using the aim button, what you want to do is click the store button here within Point Craft, and that will enable you to save the object or the location to a custom location. I basically call this M106 and NGC 4217. and then you can actually go back to this location at a later time, which we're going to be using because we've got a couple more nights to do on this object. So that hopefully explains how you plate solve, focus, and also use the aim function within APT. In the next set of videos, what we're going to do is go on and process all our data. I've actually managed to get, as I'm doing this video now, about 2 weeks after we started, I've actually managed to get about 3 nights of data. So I'm going to show how to process all that data and turn it into one image.